So, okay, I'm just going to see that the language is all right as well. Or Michael, would you mind? Could you see that? We'll see. I'll change it. It's so bad when it's not the right language. Anyway, so we have come quite a distance or quite far in the project now, and we have this goal somewhere that we all signed up to, that we want to work more multi-helix in the end. And I don't think anybody's quite sure about what that means, and that is part of the journey, understanding what that means and seeing what advantages that can give to the organizations where you all work. And as work package leader for package 1, I have a few indicators and goals and objectives that we need to reach. But the whole idea about this objectives is, of course, making sure that we do a journey with our organization during the project. Until now, there has been a lot of data collection and analyzing, collecting, discussions, and looking at our organizations in different angles, testing tools like storytelling and others. We now need to get to the actual actions. And doing that, we have been talking about 3 different strategies that we are working on. In LÄSE, there will be a workshop where we will present the strategies that we all have been working on in jointly through workshops and such. And what we will do there is show the draft of them, and hope that you can have some comments or feel comfortable that this is what we go for. From the strategies, we are to go to a more action-based focus in the project, and that we will do by making action plans. So the deliverables will be action plans and strategies. But understanding to go from this very high theoretical strategies into those actions, we have looked at a framework or a set of tools that will help us synthesize or narrow down what actual actions are important for your specific hubs to work on to move towards that more multi-helix organization. I mean, in the beginning, we all signed up for this because we know we have challenges. We know we have lacks in our organization that we need to work on. And these tools and those workshops we've done are made to make us understand where are those gaps, where do we need to work, and how can we do that. And the action is putting down in writing responsibility, who are in charge of this particular action, what do we need in resources, what are the time plans, and so on. I'm sure you all work with action plans before, and the actual layout of the action plans I will not go through today, but that we will work with that on LÄSE. So today's session is me explaining and presenting this Canvas framework or set of tools that we have worked on. And in LÄSE, we will work hands-on with it. But because we want to have as much practical time in the workshop, we thought we'd introduce the actual tool here so that you are familiar to it. I know I spoke about it in the Hub Value Preposition workshop, and I was supposed to send it out to you, but it's taken more time to make it fit the whole theoretical framework and so on. So this LÄSE will be the time where we put it to action. So as the text says here, it's making us go from theoretical strategy into action plan, and the step in between there is probably, hopefully, the canvas. And yeah, so you could see it as a facilitating process to align. Oj, hade jag missat? To align. There you go. To align with the stakeholder and identify gaps and define where to act and to create transformation. And the transformation is what we have said that we would like to reach. We would like to transform our hub. I have done this in a Word document because I want it to be accessible for everybody. So it's not done in InDesign or something. I made it in Word. So it's a little bit rough on the edges because I don't know, but Word is not a layout program to be proud of. I think you all probably are familiar with the business model canvas made by Strategizer. Is that something I need to go through? It's a model helping people to get insights on how to make their business model work in reality, looking at customer flows, value flows, and so on. And that is what I translated into a transformation canvas for us to be able to take our theoretical insights into action plans. So the layout here is exactly the same as a business model canvas, but I have changed the content of the frames somewhat so that it works to our purpose. So each of these frames has its own tool. Here is the key system stakeholders tool. And this is all connected to the stakeholder mapping that we've done. So this will really be picking information from the stakeholder mapping, synthesizing it into which helix is strongest, which is weakest or missing, and who has the most influence. And when we have that in written, we can go over to the action plan. So some of these will be very fast to fill in because we have done so much pre-work. Some we need to maybe start from the beginning, but mostly we have done a lot of pre-work in different settings. The key system stakeholder map tool, as all tools, has a instruction and example so that we will make it a little bit more understandable how to use it. But during the workshop, of course, we will go through this and expand it a little bit. I will show you, for instance, going to the transformation activities has a little bit more work that needs to be done. So that I have extended into, I think it's 4 or 5 different fields. And what we want to end up with is main activity patterns, key gaps, priority development actions, and that also will move into the action plans. So this is all to narrow it down, to prioritize, to understand exactly which point, which exact challenge would we like to work on, and then we expand that action plans in needs. So what I will today, I will not go through every tool, but I will show you so that you are familiar with this canvas, and I would like to hear your comments about it. I can send it out in the Word document or as a PDF, but on the workshop we will work in an interactive PDF so that it will all be translated into a PDF where you can fill it in digital. So it's in a digital form. But if you want to ahead, you can write it out and use and scribble on it if you want to bring that, if you want to prepare something for the workshop or do something ahead. But there will not be an interactive form before the workshop. And I would suggest that you don't fill it in the digital Word document because that's just going to mess things up. So that's why I want to use a PDF formal to make it interactive and user-friendly. So looking here again, I also have done some color scheme, just showing how they work with different aspects of your organization's transformation. The green ones are working with the system. The orange one is activities, capacity, and sustainability. The long sustainability of your transformation. And this all, I should go back and say, is of course based on the framework and typology that Alistair has done ahead. So it's all connected, and you will also see a tool later on the way we work with a maturity grid. And in Läse, we will focus on, and the red one is value, purpose, engagement, and impact. So you see how they in different fields, but they all connect in towards making a successful wide transformation. In Läse, I will suggest that we work with number 1, number 2, number 7, and 8, because I believe that will give us a clear path on a few of action plans. We hope that every organization at least will do 3 action plans. But we will, of course, work on those fields and those areas and those challenges that you need to change. So this is, of course, something that we do out of your needs. So not every outcome from here will be used in action plans, only the ones that you feel are necessary for you to work on. Let's see. Going on to knowledge and skills, for instance. It's quite hands-on and not so much to explain, really. It gives you examples, and you circle or mark where you are, and then you pick or understand which ones are you very low on, and you choose 2. And it's a very simple tool, but the outcome is simple, you could say. Like it's not that big text blocks, but that's the whole point, to make it narrow down to concrete point of challenges or actions that needs to be taken for you to move forward in your transformation. The hub value proposition is something where you should really be able just to fill out, because we did the workshop and that's where all this started, that we were supposed to fill in this part of the format, but this has already been done. So what you would do here is look into your Miro board that you hopefully did, or wherever you put all your notes, or if you remember it in your head, or you need to redo it. But this should be quite simple just to put down. And the core message is, of course, important. That's what we want to gain from all of this. And that is also connected to, sorry for scrolling, engagement channels. That is, which channels are actually creating engagement and which one could create engagement. So this is the channels connected to what your message you want to get out to your audience, and then it's also connected to the value flows and shared returns. So those 3 red ones would be very useful if we do a communication action plan. Those 3 are connected and will make you understand within communication, which action plans should I take? Let's see. This one is one that I would like to work on in Läse. Yes. Again, we have all talked about this, but this is putting it down to paper and minimizing and understanding activities, needs. How low, how big, who are underestimated groups, what needs do we need to change, what needs do we need to address. It's also in the stakeholder mapping somewhat, or quite a bit. But we have had some single or hub-to-hub discussions and also on the hub value workshop, I did speak to some some of you about, well, which sector, which actors, or which helix do you feel that you need to get more action in or need to reach out to? As for Sotenes, for instance, I've said this a lot of times, that we have understood that we need to reach the civil society, and then we need to understand which channels, what can we do for them? We need to reach them. Why? Yes, because if we are a municipality and public authority, if they don't think that we are necessary to exist, if we don't make value for them, we don't have to exist, and we will not exist. So we need to talk to them about what we do. We also need to understand what they need. And for us, it's quite simple. Within that, we have more helixes and areas we need to reach out to, but that is the lowest hanging fruit that we could pick out of this. We need to reach the civil society, and we need to work with them. What kind of channels do we work with? What kind of activities do we need to do? And how can we get a dialogue where we understand what the needs are, and so on. So this one is very important, and we will go through that step by step through a workshop. And lastly, and I hope, and I think I need to talk to Alistair about this more, but working with his sprouting, rooting, thriving is also a suggestion that we will work with in LASA. So a lot of talking from me, and I understand it's hard for you to get all of this from just scrolling up and down in this one, but I would like to hear from you. Does this feel like an understandable way to move forward? And do you, or any other questions or comments, you are very welcome. And if we want to dig deeper into one tool now, let me know. I will go up through the actual canvas where you see the different ones here. So yeah, please let me know if there's any of these, like in the whole, or if there's any field you feel are particularly interesting or not interesting. Give me some feedback, please. Do you understand it?
Complete and total silence. They are overwhelmed, Charlotte.
I don't really take this as a good sign, but good, Alistair. You're always warming up.
I was briefed about this. I just wanted to break the ice and say that it seems to me quite applicable and broken down to, let's say, the more practical aspects of all of these sometimes very fuzzy issues we're working in SIRR. So congratulations. I know the feedback you really wanted from the others, but I'm just breaking the ice.
Yeah, thank you. Anna, yes.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with what Alistair just said. It's been a tough night for me, so I was a bit distracted at times. But I think all in all, many of the things that you would like us to fill in, we have done already. In one of the previous workshops, I believe we have worked, at least speaking for Trendy, we have come up with a value proposition pretty much already. So. And we've done plenty of work on the stakeholder mapping and some other input as well. So I think at this point it's more of a task in terms of how do we translate this into the template that you just proposed. I mean, it's quite a bit, to be honest. But I think as soon as you start looking it up again and maybe reflect on it a little bit, then I think many things will fall into place and it will make click. So yeah, I believe it's pretty much doable. I believe at this point we should have the majority of information available. Otherwise, we would have to question what we've been doing in this project.
Yeah.
So I think it's all about getting started and filling it in.
Yeah, so good. Yeah, I'll emphasize that again. During the workshop in LASA, we need to get down to business. We need to start on those action plans, because the action plans are to be tested. Not everybody has to be tested or implemented during the project, but we need to have a few of them implemented during the fall of 2026. So that's why we need to get down to business now. And so we will, as you are saying, get down. On the workshop, we will sit and fill in, and we will also have it result in an action plan. And the goal for us, I think, Alistair, is it at least 2 action plans from this workshops that is like filled in and ready to be implemented in the fall. Of course, it could be completed afterwards.
I think it would be good enough to at least have a nearly finished 1 action plan, because the idea is to trial the process, no? To try out, okay, we have a series of fields in the multi-helix transformation canvas that you are showing us. They're filled in to 60-70%. Some of them are very specific. Arne has formulated, finished hub value proposition for Trendy, but he only has some notes on value flows, or I don't know, the maturity of the filling out. And then that converts into a specific action plan for which we are also going to deliver a template. And if each of the hubs take 1 nearly finished action plan home and says, oh, this is how we do it, then it's much easier to for all of us, for all the hubs, to deliver the action plans that are needed in order to check those interreg boxes. And the great bonus is that we've done something absolutely useful for the organizational development of the hubs.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the biggest thing here, like the most trickiest, I think, is understanding which helix do we need to approach and why. Like we're not going to tick the boxes of all helixes if there's no use for your hub. So that is, I think, what we will probably spend most time during the workshop. Understand which helix do we, or what change do we need to happen within which helix is that, and who actors are there. So it's tackling from different angles, but just want to make sure this is not for you to tick box like I work with this and this and this helix, now I'm done. It's understanding why do we need to reach them and what can they help us with, like reaching academia. How can that help us? Do we need that? Does that contribute to our long goal, transformation goal, who we want to reach with? Will they add up to the whole equation in a very effective way? So I just want to make sure that you understand this is not a ticking the box. This should be based in your needs and your willing of transform or develop your hub. And also, I must say that it's also hopefully going to be a part of our handbook, I think we called it. So when I've done this, I've had in mind that not only our hubs will work with it, it's a little bit more generic. It should be that everybody who wants to turn their hub into a more multi-helix organization could use this tool or framework. Arne again?
Yeah, it's me again, sorry.
No,
I do have a specific question. Maybe I missed out on this, or maybe you are going to mention this in just a few minutes. But what exactly would you like us to do as preparation prior to the workshop, and what happens during the workshop? Is there anything specific that you want us to work on as a preparation?
Well, coming prepared with access to your documents or the previous works. And one important thing, I think, is if you all, I could send it out, is read up on your regional or territorial goals to understand if I want to reach and work on a regional level and getting help and assistance or being of
Yeah.
use for them to making sure I can exist in the future, you need to read up on them so you have them in your mind because they are part of the target groups and beneficiaries or value flows and shared returns and so on. So that I would say, and of course we could send up a letter. We have a plan for next Tuesday where we set the workshop, and I'm sure we will touch upon if there is some preparation. But the idea is that you should not have to prepare too much, but have access to your previous work. Make sure you have access to your previous work.
Yeah.
And
that makes sense.
so that's one my thinking. Michael and Alistair, please, if you want to complete,
it might be it could be a personal preference thing, or however you work in a team. If you're coming together with other colleagues, you might want to bring exactly this printed canvas with your notes already, or you bring separate documents that align to 1, 2, 4, and 7. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, of course, that's a sensible thing to do, to come prepared with all the working documents that we have set up already. I mean, that's that is something that I would do anyways. That was more of a question if I should walk through this document page by page and try to fill out as much as possible in advance, or is it actually useful if I have all the pages filled out already, or would you rather like me to leave something blank so that we can work on these things during the workshop? But I think I just get started. I just take some time and work it through and see how much there is.
Yeah, my idea is not that this is self-explanatory, but done sort of in a facilitated way.
Yeah.
But once, I mean, it's also, I mean, it's in a handbook, so being presented that I will have more like a general instruction, which I will do, or we will do in live on the workshop. But you can do as much as you want to, but as you are not the important thing is to work in a group, depending on if you are a group or not. But the thing is, I don't want to give you too much homework ahead. But as you saying, and as Alistair say, the more prepared you come and the more you want to, it's all up to you. And the more prepared you are, the more you've done, of course, further you will come during the day. You will get further on your action plan, most probably. So depending, it's all up to you. Yeah.
All right.
And of course, once the tool is ready, I would love to have, or we would love to have some from all of you comments to make it more sharper and so on. If we do publish this in the handbook, it would be useful for us to get some comments, of course, both during the workshop, but also during afterwards. So any one of you who likes these kind of theoretical frameworks, or if you have practical experience working with it, we would love to have some feedback on that. But yeah. Theresia, please, what do you think? Is it understandable?
Well, it's always when you look at it the first time. I mean, it's the first time we see this, and it's a lot of different factors in this.
Yeah.
So I think I have to, if we could get it in as an email or something, and just go through, you know, how do I work with this? Because it's a lot at once. Yeah. But I mean, a model is always helpful. So good start.
Oh my good. Yeah. Very good. So just, for me to understand that, for me, it's all very clear, but of course for you, it's a big chunk of like really heavy conclusions to be done, actually. So yeah. But the thing is that we wanted to do is to make it very easy to get to that last row, like the last sentence that we then move into the action plan. Well, so yeah, my plan was to send this out ahead, but not to make it a digital one, and I might Probably get some feedback that I will do some changes during the sharp one that we use on the actual workshop. But in all, I think this is pretty much how it will look. I might change some words or so and fix maybe some layout and so. So I would be happy to send it out to you ahead. And if you have time, it would be very good for you to read through. But we will also go through it step by step during the workshop. Yeah. Do we need to say anything more? What do you think, Alistair and Michael? Would like to say anything else about the workshop that we have not yet totally planned?
I don't know. Maybe just repeat this small thing that even if this might look overwhelming now, if you look back on what we have already done in other workshops, in our local work at the hubs, we have actually a lot of the content ready. I know Charlotte did it a few times, but now maybe also as a preparation, do also refresh your memories about what was it actually we worked with when we worked with the stakeholder mapping, when we worked with hub identity, when we worked with value proposition. Keep it up close to your memories, so we also have it ready when we meet at leisure.
Yeah. And again, the action plans are all individual. So the action plan, formal or model, or the framework that we work for, that is the joint. But then nobody's going to be the same. You will work on all different kinds depending on your needs, and that is what we need to find out. And what was I going to say? Yeah. And also just want to make clear that we will not work on all these squares in LÖSA. So it's not that we're going to do all of them there. We're going to eat these in pieces, like I said before. But we will work on the toughest one in LÖSA, where we meet up and can have a proper workshop. So like the hub value proposition and that communication part, I think that can be settled in a digital setting. Because it's simpler, and we all done a lot with it already, and so on. Okay.
Maybe also add just as an information that at least the template that we have looked into for the action plans are also pretty simple. It's not 50 pages of explanations. They are a simple framework. So even there, we try to make it accessible for everyone.
It's the content that is important there. So yeah. And that is not massive. Like, it's quite short, the content. It's just going to be concise and precise. And I'm sure you all work with actual plans before in some way. So.
And it's actually also a wish from the Interact system. They don't want to read hundreds of pages. So.
And I'm sure the best practices that we all have and that are posted are something that could help us when we do decide which actions to take. The solutions that we want to try, sometimes we will find that in the best practices. Hopefully, that's one of the strengths of the project, that we share those experiences. Guillaume, what do you think? Oh no.
No. I'm thinking like most of the partners. Yeah. I'm looking forward to have the documents, to see what we have to fill in. I think it looks like some workshops we have already done so far. So it's kind of a conclusion of what we've done. So I'm not really scared of this document. So still thinking of.
Good to hear.
Still thinking of a very important question: how to reach Helixes we miss in our hubs, and so put it down in a model is very, very useful for us. Yes, but so I think we have two ways to do it. Fill this document, of course, and still trying some actions on the field, and being how do you say it, being down on business. Yeah, that's what we are trying to do here.
Yeah.
But I'm really looking forward to receive your raw template, Word template by email, just to have a look and kind of
Acquaintance.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Marcel?
Yeah, I was just wondering, I wrote my question in the chat there, but I'm assuming that us non-hubs should just fill it into our best ability, and maybe where it says hub, just change it to like knowledge partner or something like that. And yeah, just try to fill it out as best we can.
Yeah, I mean, we could of course do a one where I change the words, but some of you feel usage of this, some of you don't, maybe. So this is, I don't think this is the knowledge part. Help me out. We are to have 10 individual. So, and that's included knowledge partners, Michael?
No, from the beginning it was thought of as hub plans.
Yeah.
I think at Læsø, at the actual workshop there, it would be very nice if the support partners also could have the supporting role in the workshop. Could ask some of these naughty questions to the hubs and support them in the process. And of course, if it makes sense and it gives you value in your own organizations, I think you're welcome to use the tool as such. But the target is for the hubs primarily.
I think it's wise, just from my own perspective, to still do it, because if we don't use the tool, it's going to be much more difficult to help out. I think so. It's smarter to just have a look at it, fill it out to our best ability, to see which questions we might come up with while we're doing it, or maybe something that might be needing of like different thoughts or improvement. Otherwise, I think it will be quite tough to be helping out when you don't know the tool yourself, I think. So I think it's best to just do it. That's just my perspective. So
We can talk about it also on when we plan the next step in the planning of the workshop. And but I will of course send it to all of you, absolutely. And when I'm especially interested in hearing knowledge partners' comments out of the theoretical perspective and the hubs in the user perspective. So yeah, should we all just be happy we have another 15 minutes on our time? And maybe Michael and Alistair can stay on. You won't get those extra 15 minutes. If not anybody want to say anything else, I hope you look forward to going further down this road, and we will get back to you with an email as soon as possible. I want to do some a little bit more checkup before I send it out, but as soon as possible, you'll get it on mail. And after the meeting on Tuesday, we will give you a small information about the workshop, I believe, probably. And there we will again state those, how you can come prepared to the workshop, and maybe some more details that we are not just set on right now. Yeah. Good. Thumbs up from Madame. Great.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you.
See you at Læsø. Bye bye.
Yeah, see you at
Bye.
Læsø. Bye bye.
Ciao.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye. See you soon.
See you.